there's no mistake that the...
Even the inside of the tablecloth was bloody, so... But that doesn't mean where Byakuya got stabbed and where...
I don't understand at all!
Huh? Really? I feel like I'm onto something.
Under the table, but not under the table. If it's somehow moving forward...
We will never give up! I got it! I got it! The killer must have stabbed Byakuya from under the floorboards.
Under the floorboards?
The floorboards in the old building are full of gaps, and there was no carpet laid out under the table. If they stuck the weapon through one of the gaps, they could have stabbed Byakuya to death.
If so,
You're the only one! Hey, Gundam, you dropped your earring in the diner.
You refer.
About that ear.
I said.
About that Hellhound earring.
Just a bit longer and I would have reduced everything, including that old building, to ashes. However, it's just as the old legend said. The Hellhound earring has returned.
Huh? Gundam wasn't... And if he had it on by the time the class trial began, then that means Gundam was able to retrieve his earring from beneath the floorboards during the investigation.
So...
It's understood, but I am different. Truly, this is the evil fourth eye. Before the might of the evil
What should I do? I'm embarrassed. Just listen.
Oh! Man up and speak more clearly!
Fine, I shall tell you all. One of my 4 dark devas, a secret passage of doom leading to the underground, lurks beneath after securing a lighter from the... And as a result of that lonesome battle...
There he goes, blabbing about power and crap. You're ridiculous. You're just a breeder, you know.
Anyway.
Then that has to be how the... If the space beneath the floor is empty, it's not that far to move from the storage room to the dining hall.
I see. If they passed through the storage room, I understand why the tablecloth was put there.
The killer lurked under the floor. You don't like stab, stab, stab? Should it sound more fleshy? Like...
No, I'm not talking about your sound effect. You were saying they snuck under the floorboard, so was there any...
Then whoever wasn't at the party is the killer. They must be the one who was waiting under the floor. Boards.
Who wasn't at the party again?
I didn't participate, but I was guarding the entrance, remember? Monomi over there can be my witness, right?
Yes! This Monomi over here is your witness!
I believe there's no need to discuss this matter further, but I was unable to leave the bathroom.
I was in the kitchen for a long time, but I frequently went to...
The only... Judging from the photo I took before the blackout... It obvious...
Yay! It's just the...
What the...
Oh, really? What happened?
Don't mess with me!
See? You're ma-
Yep, that's right. Things are...
During the party, the killer was lurking under the floor like a cockroach.
And they could have stared at panties all day. Without going to the storage room in the dark.
Is that true, Fuyuhiko?
Don't act like I'm the fucking killer!
But when the party started... Nobody saw you, you know. That means you have no alibi.
Crap!
During the party, the killer was lurking under the floor like a cockroach.
And they could have stared at panties all day. Without going to the storage room in the dark.
Is that true, Fuyuhiko?
Don't act like I'm the fucking killer!
But when the party started...
Nobody saw you, you know. That means you have no alibi.
No, that's wrong! No, Fuyuhiko definitely has an alibi. Isn't that right, Chiaki?
Oh, you're right. I saw Fuyuhiko after the party started. There's no way he could have been waiting under the floor before that.
You should have said that early.
It's still your fault.
Maybe there really is a... Hey, motherfucker! Oh, no!
Wow, he got chewed out.
Regardless, it's impossible to go.
Then someone definitely went during the part. Well, if some.
But walking down that dark...
You're right. I could...
But is it really impossible? It might be better if we examine that possibility a little bit more.
It was super dark, you know? There's no way you'd be able to find your way to the storage room.
It appears the blackened or the spotless.
The hallway was really... dark during the blackout. Moving to the storage room like that... It's like making a seafood bowl without fish!
Is it really not possible?
What if they used a string like the cord?
Maybe there was another pair of night vision goggles?
What a pain. I'm gonna go with my gut. What if they used a light?
I agree with that. I know. The killer had a light with him.
Oh, I was right? But where could they have found a light?
There was one nearby for sure. See? It's written on the kitchen's equipment list. It's the portable stove.
Portable?
The portable stove isn't powered by... So, the killer used the portable stove to move from the hallway.
I see. I never considered the portable stove.
A hole? What kind of hole? It would be great if you could explain it to me in much more detail. Oh, I wasn't making a perverted joke or anything. It's real.
Repeat. Now then, Hajime. Will you battle against me? No, that's wrong. Will you be able to... Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony? Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see was because the hallway was... So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi have seen it?
Crap!
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see the office was because the hallway was dark, right? So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway...
Damn it!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony? Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony? Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi was because the hallway was... So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway...
Crap!
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see the office was because the hallway was dark, right? So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi have seen it? After all, he was walking near the hallway, right? The reason Kazuichi couldn't see the office was because the hallway was dark, right? So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway...
Damn it!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi was because the hallway was... So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't After all, he was walking near the hallway, right?
Damn it!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see was because the hallway was dark. So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi... After all, he was walking near the hallway, right?
Damn it!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I can't back down!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see it was because the hallway was dark. So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi... After all, he was walking near the hallway, right?
Damn it!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned. It contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi was because the hallway was... So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't After all, he was walking near the hallway, right? The reason Kazuichi couldn't see was because the hallway was dark, right? So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi... After all, he was walking near the hallway, right? Damn it! Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned, it contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony? Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned, it contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony? Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned, it contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see it was because the hallway was dark. So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway,
crap!
The reason Kazuichi couldn't see the office was because the hallway was dark. So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi have... After all, he was walking near the hallway, right?
We will never give up!
Did you forget what Kazuichi said earlier? He said the hall was too dark to see the office. The light from the stove that you mentioned, it contradicts his testimony. Or are you intentionally doubting his testimony?
I don't doubt what Kazuichi said. What are you trying to say?
The reason Kazuichi couldn't was because the hallway was dark. So if a light was shining in such a dark hallway, wouldn't Kazuichi have seen it?
Allow me to cut through those words! Nagito, did you forget? Or are you just pretending you forgot?
Huh?
There should have been a wall that blocked... I'm talking about... If you close it, it would plus. The hallway rounds a corner, so even if there was a small gap in the door,
I see. Oh, you still don't remember your talent.
Who cares about that?
Nagito, what are you plotting?
You sound so scary. You sure like to piss us off. How about I...
Hey! It's okay if you guys fight, but I won't allow a burly brawl that might offend people. More importantly, can you hurry up and decide who's the blackened already? Time runs out when I get bored.
Fine, I get it. You're telling me to pass the torch, right?
Pass the torch?
We're going to ask the real killer, not an imposter like me.
You're obviously the killer.
If you think I am, whatever conclusion you ultimately...
You're the only one!
Teru. Could it be you?
Huh? What? What are you talking about?
Teru's the killer?
What are you talking? Of course, that's simply objection or not. Because the portable stove used in the murder came from the kitchen. That's it? That's the only reason? You're cruel!
Teru. That attitude is so not like you. For the ultimate cook to get so upset.
Call me chef.
If you fall to aspersions like this, who will be there to support the future of the... That's right. For the future of the...
So, what's an aspersion anyway? Is it yummy?
Did you know asbestos is yummy too? You should try some later.
Nagito, what?
Let's assume that the killer used a light. And that they moved to the store. It's dark under the floorboards, too. You're not gonna say they shined the light on Byakuya, right?
That's right. That's...
There's no way you can answer, right? You personally have...
If that's the case, then Gundam should know. He actually went under the...
No. Unfortunate. The only thing I found was a strip.
What? That sounds...
If there was a shining mark like that, they would have been able to move to it in the dark, right?
And in doing so, it might have been possible for them to use that mark to target the victim.
Crap! I can prove it with this! The mark you're talking about is the glowing paint that was applied to the knife, right?
Ah! By using the glowing paint as a target, they were able to judge where to stab even in the dark!
I see. The killer didn't target an actual person, they just struck the moment the glowing paint moved.
That would be the moment someone grabbed a hold of the knife.
So, the killer used the mark that I prepared for finding the knife as a mark for stabbing. I see. That's why Byakuya got killed when he took the knife.
But if they were able to do that, wouldn't that mean the killer knew about Nagito's plan?
Well, Teru!
Seriously? I don't know anything.
Then can I ask everyone a question and...
You again? Just stop!
Now, if Teru is the killer, and just what did he
Ah! Don't
What the hell? What's the...
Ow!
Turn the damn lights!
You guys?
She heard Teru's voice in the dining hall?
Doesn't that prove Teru was in the dining hall during the blackout?
That's right! That's exactly it!
But Teru was in the kitchen the moment the blackout occurred, right? So, why was he in the dining hall?
I thought the blackout was only in the kitchen, so I panicked and ran out of there. Of course, the hallway was dark too, but somehow I managed to move along the wall toward everyone's voices.
Well, it's not that far to move along the wall from the kitchen to the dining hall.
That sounds...
If I remember correctly, you can tell when a person is lying by licking their sweat. So, if you want, you should try licking me.
No way! You look greasy. But I heard Teru's voice in the dining hall! Ibuki swears on her honor!
That's right. Teru was in the dining hall, not the storage room. Which means he's not the killer.
No, that's not it. What? Why do you want to keep falsely... It's not like I want to blame...
You should be so proud of yourself, Hajime. You're just progressing toward the hope you believe in. Now, Hajime, show me more of your hope. Will that be enough to crush Teru's hope? Let me ask you again. Did you go to the storage room during the blackout?
There's no way I went to... I was somewhere totally different!
I definitely heard Teru's voice.
Crap!
Let me ask you, did you go to the store?
There's no way I was somewhere totally different!
I definitely heard Teru's voice. It's handsome, unlike his face.
Maybe it was recording or something?
Nope, definitely a live voice.
Crap!
Let me ask you again. Did you go to the storage room during the blackout?
There's no way I was somewhere totally different!
I definitely heard Teru's voice. It's handsome, unlike...
Maybe it was recording or something?
Nope, definitely a live voice.
Right, as long as I have her testimony. The fact that I was in the dining hall cannot be disputed.
I'll shoot through that contradiction. Just because we heard Teru's voice in the dining hall doesn't mean he was literally in the dining hall.
Huh? Why?
Remember the floor in the dining hall? It was full of gaps, right? So even if you shouted from under the floor, it should have sounded just like the voices in the dining hall.
But...
I see. So he brazenly shouted from under the floor.
Is that true?
Hold on!
Can you explain?
I told you to wait! What are y'all even saying?
Where are you from?
I was born in...
Hey, you guys! This guy's a... If Teru was in the dining hall during the...
Well, I believe so.
Huh? Was Teru actually there during that...
I sure was!
Something like this shouldn't be decided by gut instinct.
Damn right!
His accent is getting even worse. However, I am not sure. I believe that he was there, and I believe that he was not there.
No! Is there any way we can decide?
Why don't we consult his memories?
Gosh, yeah, don't be saying things like that, don't make no sense! Can you even prove I wasn't in the dining hall?
I probably can.
Oh, you again!
I can prove it with this! If you're claiming that you were in the... then you should know how Mikan was No. Well, Teru, if you were...
Huh?
It was a pretty clever way of tripping.
I'm sorry.
How about it?
Huh?
There's no way it would slip from your...
Nagito? Wait, give up? What do you mean, give up?
Teru. It's lonely watching someone I admire reach the limits of their hope. It kind of feels like a broken dream.
Nagito, what are you doing? Why are you messing with the killer like that?
Hold on a sec. Don't go moving this along on your own like I really am the killer.
Huh? But it's already decided.
The murder weapon hadn't been cleared up.
It's no use. I can't understand him anymore.
It appears he's saying the murder weapon hasn't been cleared up yet.
You understand?
But it's such a sad defense.
Oh, you calling me the killer? Then where's the weapon?
Come on, Manumi. Enough with the whimpering and
He said, if you're calling me the killer, then where's the weapon?
The weapon, huh?
Judging from Byakuya's wounds, it was a thin...
Also, if they stabbed from under the floorboards, the weapon would need to be at least 50 centimeters in length.
After all this, who cares about the weapon?
Not good enough! Not good enough!
He said, not good enough. Not good enough at all.
Fine, I got it. Let's try thinking about what the weapon was.
Wanna do it?
He said, try to do it.
What a confusing accent.
I got it! That's it! The weapon must be the iron skewer!
Huh? The iron skewer?
Before the party, as Byakuya was confiscating all the dangerous items, he spoke to Teru.
So that missing
An iron skewer would match up with the wounds perfectly.
Hey, Teru, where'd you hide the iron skewer?
Avril Lavigne!
Avril Lavigne?
Huh? Did he really just say that?
He's just saying random shit to fuck with us.
This school trip has a no littering rule. If he had violated it, the island sirens would be ringing non-stop.
Island sirens? Just for littering?
Also, I was on guard duty, and I never once saw Teru Teru leave the old building.
Which means he obviously hid it somewhere in the old building.
Shut up! That's impossible! Nonsense! Unforgivable! I don't know! Paris Hilton! Shut up! That's impossible! Nonsense! Unforgivable! I don't know! Paris Hilton! Unforgivable! Where would the weapon be?
This is the end! Could the iron skewer have been hidden inside the piece of meat on the bone?
What are you saying? There's no way I'd hide anything in a place like
That's clearly impossible!
Impossible. That's what But in fact, the only place you could hide the weapon was inside the food that couldn't be inspected. Out of all the dishes you prepared, the meat...
What now?
I'm using my...
There's no way that exists here.
We need to confirm this now! So if we eat that tasty-looking piece of meat and...
All right. Monokuma or Monami, one of you hurry.
1 minute. Just give me one...
Wait, hold on a second.
What are you doing? Hurry up and bring it over!
About that.
Huh? Where did Monokuma go? I'm right here! Wait. Oh, damn it! I've never eaten anything like it in my entire life! The taste brings me back to my days in the wild.
This is bad! Seriously, this is really bad!
My! There's something inside the meat! Look what came out!
Isn't that...
Is that an iron skewer?
Check it out. The handle looks like it's made of bone. Pretty clever.
The sword of destruction, encased in bone and sheathed in meat. It brought catastrophe unto Byakuya.
As expected of Teru Teru. Such a fantastic...
You're wrong! I'm not the killer! I'm not the kind of person who would kill someone! I got it! You all set me up! You guys set me up so you could blame this on me!
Jeez, what a disappointment. Such an unseemly defense for an ultimate like you. Can you really call that hope?
Hey, Nagito. I'm sorry, but can you just be quiet?
He said, "You're all nothing but a bunch of poor, loudmouth, fast food eating hicks."
You don't need to translate anymore. Somehow I can tell what he's trying to say.
I guess we need to settle this. Once and for all. To do that, we need to go over the entire incident from beginning to end and make everything clear.
So, we need to do it. We will never give up!